Hey guys, Saiyan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we were expecting some EZA news today. Obviously, most of us had our fingers crossed for getting the 7-year EZA details. People are very much itching for them to drop. But as I did say in the video yesterday, talking about when Part 3 is going to be starting, we're also expecting the EZAs for STR Kaioken Goku and Great Ape Vegeta to fill those 2 Saiyan Saga slots on the anniversary roadmap. And so yeah, we have got the details for them here now today. And they were actually tweeted out by both JP and Global at the same time. So let's go. There's still a slim chance that we get the 7-year details today as well, maybe in like an hour, but I don't know. I feel like they're going to save them now until either a week from now or the EX part. Remember, the anniversary still has like 2 weeks to go. So, but yeah, we have the details for STR Kaioken Goku, TEQ Great Ape Vegeta. We're going to jump in and look at them here live. I have not looked at them at all yet myself, so we're just going to go through them here and give my first thoughts. And yeah, we'll see whether they cooked with these guys or not. So yeah, we'll start off with STR Kaioken Goku. So his leader skill is now going to be All Out Struggle or Final Trump Card 4 key and 170. So that's pretty good. Yellow Coin LRs getting up to a 170 lead now. The Yellow Coin LRs have never been, their leader skill's never been hugely important because most of the time they're more useful on other teams. But it's good to see them increasing them to be at least somewhat in line with the meta, even though of course we're now starting to move past even 220%. But so he still has the entrance animation when there's an enemy whose name includes Vegeta, and that gives him 3 key and 100% attack. Now, bear in mind that buff is permanent as well. So in terms of being able to hit hard, he is always going to be doing more damage in an event where there is a Vegeta enemy. Given the current state of the game and like the end game events that we have and stuff, there's not a crazy amount of phases. There's obviously like the Majin Buu Saga stage of the Goku Story Red Zone where you fight Majin Vegeta. But I guess there's that Formidable Foes, was it stage 3? Or the one with the Great Ape Vegeta AoE boss. So there's like a couple of bosses, but they're for events that have already been out for, you know, a week or two or so at this point. But 3 key and a 100% attack buff. It's not something like defense or damage reduction or guard or something, so it's not like he'd be unrunnable. It just means he won't be hitting as hard, right? So his basic effects, attack and defense 200%. He has a great chance to crit built in. He randomly changes key spheres of a certain type other than STR to STR, and he gets 2 extra key per STR key sphere obtained. So they've increased his crit chance from high, which is good, as well as doubling his start of turn attack and defense. The extra key per key sphere is a nice little addition as well. For 7 turns from his entry turn, he gets 10 key and 100% defense. Then when attacking with 12 or more key, he gets attack and defense 159%. When attacking with 18 or more key, he gets 159% attack. For every STR key sphere obtained, he gets 4% damage reduction. And if you get 24 key or you've used the active skill on that turn, he gets a guaranteed crit. So that's interesting, because obviously he's not going to be a slot 1 unit, but he gets a decent amount of defense on super. The damage reduction 4% is kind of interesting because it depends how the orb changing goes. Because if he's able to get up to like relatively decent raw defense after he supers, if you picked up like 10 STR orbs, then he has 40% damage reduction, which is not bad. It's obviously not going to save him from taking the biggest boss super attacks, but it means he'll be relatively tanky. He'll be tanking most normals from bosses. Obviously it depends on the super attack effects, but they've given him a lot of extra stats on the super and the chance to get the guaranteed crit as well. Because remember, he's getting like 318% attack on super with 18 or more key, so he's definitely going to hit nice and hard, or you know, relatively hard. He's not going to. I don't think he'll be dropping like 50 mils, but we'll see. His super attack effect. So his 12 key super greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. Yeah, so he should have very good post super defense, and then it just depends on the amount of orbs you pick up for like how much damage reduction he's going to have. Because if you get a bad turn, even though a few STR orbs, let's say like 4 STR orbs, that's still going to give him a lot of key because he gets 2 extra key per STR Orb. And bear in mind that STR Orbs, because they're the same type, already give him 2. So he's going to get 4 ki per STR Orb. So if you get 4 orbs with him, like, he's going to be getting 24 ki in the guaranteed crit. That's fine. He's going to be getting the extra buffs for having 18 ki. But 4 orbs, he's only going to have, what, 16% damage reduction, which isn't going to be a lot when it comes to taking these big hits. But greatly raised on the 12 ki is good. And then his 18 ki, he massively raises attack and defense for 4 turns. Mega Colossal and sacrifices 4% HP. I've never been a huge fan of units that sacrifice HP on Super, but at least it's only on the 18 ki, so you can't get an additional and lose more. And remember, it's massively raised for 4 turns, so even if you float him off, when he comes back on his next turn, he's still going to have that massively raised defense. So his start of turn defense on his second appearance is going to be a lot higher. So post Super on his second turn, if you pick up a decent amount of STR Orbs, he will be quite tanky. I think he's sort of like, just from reading the details here, without seeing him in game, I think he's decent. I don't think he's anything super crazy, but I think he'll be very runnable, especially if you are able to get a decent amount of STR Orbs with him. He's going to be tanking basically all normals after supering. And he should be able to do some pretty decent damage with the guaranteed crit. Obviously, the active skill, there's no mention of here, but active skill conditions and stuff can't change, right? So can be activated when HP is 59% or less once only, and it greatly raises attack temporarily, does ultimate damage and guaranteed stuns, which can be useful in some events like the Formidable Foes thing, right? If you're going into the start of a new fight on low HP, you can just use his active skill and stun the enemy, which is quite useful. But yeah, he seems like he's okay, but definitely not anything super crazy. He's not like the best new LR EZA or anything, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. And let's go over TEQ Great Ape Vegeta. So this guy, I think he was maybe a little bit underrated on release, but he did age very, very quickly. Nowadays, he's basically just like a world tournament unit. So let's see what we've got here for our boy. So Inhuman Deeds or Giant Ape Power is his lead for 4 ki and 170. And of course, he still has the same, being the opposite, like the counterpart to this Goku. He has his entrance animation if you're fighting an enemy whose name includes Goku. That's even more restricted because at the moment, in terms of the current difficult endgame content, there basically aren't any events where you fight a Goku, apart from that Majin Buu Saga stage of the Vegeta story Red Zone where you fight Super Saiyan 2 Goku. But also same as the Kaioken, that just gives him 3 ki and 100% extra attack. So then he's got 3 ki, attack and defense 200%. He has 20% damage reduction. He gets an extra 1 ki per ki sphere obtained, and then has guard. And he just has guard. Yeah, he did have guard across the board guaranteed before. Didn't have the damage reduction. Just like Goku, they've doubled up on the stats as well, 200% instead of 100. When attacking with 12 or more ki, he gets attack and defense 160. When attacking with 18 ki, he gets 160 to defense. So when he's attacking with 18 ki, he's getting 320% extra defense, which is good. After guard is activated, he gets ki 3 and attack and defense 60% for 3 turns. So that counts even when he dodges. So extra attack and defense. As the first attacker in the turn, he has 60% extra defense and 40% damage reduction. So that means there'll be 60% total for slot 1. Second or third attacker, 60% attack, additional attack that has a great chance to become a super. And when attacking with 24 ki, attacks effective against all types. So that seems pretty good. Before he had, when guard activated, he just got 3 ki and a little bit of extra attack. Whereas now he gets extra defense as well, and it's for 3 turns. So that means if you really wanted to, you can have him, like, after guard is activated in slot 1, put him in slot 2, and he's still got that attack buff. Although he's going to be probably more valuable as a slot 1 unit for some of the teams that he's on, especially Giant 8 Power with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. His team was very much waiting for a good, like this guy's EZA, hoping that this would be good, right? Because he could be a solid slot 1 unit for that team. So slot 1, he's got 60% damage reduction. He's getting the extra 60% defense. His start of turn defense should be relatively good. I think the only problem is if he's taking a super immediately in slot 1, especially from some of these harder hitting bosses. Guard and 60% damage reduction is still good, but it depends how much damage he's potentially going to be taking overall. Some of these bosses now, I used to always do calcs for like 3 million, but now that we have some of these bosses doing like 4 million damage super attacks, if we take off 60%, that's 1.6, and then guard sort of roughly cuts that in half to like 800k. So he's not going to have 800k start of turn defense. Maybe after he takes that first hit and has the extra for 3 turns, his defense will obviously be a lot higher, but I'm not really sure how well he probably won't be tanking these big hits in slot 1. But because his guard activates even if he doesn't get hit, one of his best, I think his best build has kind of always been dodge anyway. He gets attacks effective against all types at 24 key, so you don't really need to worry about crits. So yeah, he definitely seems good. I think the biggest bosses will still be doing damage to him in slot 1. But obviously remember, if you're running him on Goku's team, not only is Super Saiyan 3 Goku going to be supporting him for defense, but he... actually, no, because Super Saiyan 3 is just power beyond Super Saiyan, isn't it? Super Saiyan 4 Goku, once he comes out, will be giving him an extra 70% defense and 10% damage reduction. So this guy in slot 1 on Super Saiyan 4 Goku's team is going to be really, really good. So his super attacks, the 12 key greatly raise attack and raise defense for 1 turn, does colossal damage to the enemy. And then of course his 18 key, he greatly raises defense for 1 turn, and then it is an AoE, does mega colossal damage to all enemies. His active skill, obviously still going to be the same, can be activated when HP is 40% or less once only. So it's not the greatest condition. And of course that allows him to transform into the Giant Ape. Giant Ape has key 6 and attack 318%. So it's always good for these LRs that have giant forms or rage modes or something, that they give them the extra key, right? And he gets guaranteed crits. So that's interesting. And then the super attack effect for the Giant Ape, greatly raise attack temporarily destructive damage for the 12 key. Massively raise attack temporarily destructive damage for the 18 key. So the Giant Ape should be able to hit relatively well. And then obviously, of course, it has that extra bit of utility, because you can use the Giant Ape mode as like a way to counter getting rid of enemy super attacks or enemy special abilities like healing and AoEs and stuff like that. It is annoying because it is quite situational, having the 40% or less HP, but there are certain things that you definitely can do. Like if you're in a tough event and you take a big hit on the turn before, then obviously coming into the next turn with Vegeta, you can Giant Ape with him. Then you know the enemy's not going to super, so then he can sit in slot 1, get hit, get buffed, like, and be a solid like defensive unit in that first slot. So in terms of what the teams they're on are looking for from these EZAs, I think Vegeta definitely seems better. He's going to be that slot 1 unit that some of these teams need. Kaioken Goku, I think people will underrate him because he's not going to be insane defensively, but I feel like he's going to be very runnable. It's going to be one of those RNG things where if you get a bad turn and you don't get a lot of STR orbs, because he gets so much extra key, you're still going to see him get to 24 key and hit decent attack numbers, but then obviously his defense is going to be really disappointing on those turns. So, but I don't think he's bad. I think Vegeta's probably better. Vegeta's definitely got a solid EZA. Looking forward to trying that out. And remember, these should be out, as these were tweeted out today. We're expecting part 3 to start on Friday. So there should be a data download tomorrow. And then these guys will come out when part 3 starts on Friday. So let me know what you guys think of these EZAs down below in the comment section. Who do you like the most? Do you think Goku is good, or are you super disappointed with him? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.